The women's and men's track and field teams split duty between the Ryder and Bucknell Invitationals to further dominate Atlantic 10 meets. Hello, I'm Jake Smolinski.
And I'm Brendan Rigney. LaSalle softball saw plenty of action, including their doubleheader against UMBC. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine. Welcome to the show. Jake and Brendan here with the latest in LaSalle sports. Another great show for you. Adam Cherry of LaSalle Baseball sat down to talk about his season so far.
And later in the show, Anthony Fleet stops by for some exploring headlines before Tim Durante gives this edition of the Marquee Matchup. But first, let's catch up on what went down this past week for our athletes. The men's track and field team split up this past weekend on Saturday, April 11th. At the Ryder Invitational, freshman Jordan Byron took the spotlight in the long and high jump. Byron set a personal record in the long jump with a leap of 7 meters, marking the 4th best jump in the conference. On the running side of things at George Mason, senior Nick Ross took first place in the 1-mile run with a time of 3 minutes and 49 seconds, citing the second fastest time in the Atlantic 10. This season, as usual, the sophomore Chris Sanders finished in the top of his heat, taking second place in the 800-meter run, managing a time of 1 minute and 51 seconds. At the Bucknell Invitational, senior Rodrigo Nunez made headlines by posting a college best in the 10,000-meter run with a time of 32 minutes and 10 seconds, which earned him the 6th fastest time in the conference.
On Saturday, April 11th, women's track and field also split up to compete in 2 meets. At the Ryder Invite, sophomore Olivia Boyer debuted in the 1,500-meter to place 18th out of 43. Senior Courtney Kramer earned 6 points in the 3,000-meter steeple. Sophomore Amber Jackson was back participating in the field events, where she placed 6th in the long jump, reaching 5.3 meters and recording 10.5 meters in the triple jump. Down in Virginia at George Mason, junior Shannon Dwyer ran the 800-meter against 75 other athletes. Dwyer ran her career best of 2 minutes, 15 seconds to take 25th place. Junior Kate Conville was just 2 seconds behind in 34th place with a time of 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Atlanta 10 superstar Morgan Zeckley took 3rd in the 1,500-meter in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Freshman Caitlin Poez and senior Taylor Hackett also finished strong, pacing right behind Zeckley. Next week, the Explorers split up again, this time to Princeton and Widener.
On April 10th and 11th, the men's rowing team competed in the Necht Cup, located in West Windsor, New Jersey at Mercer County Park. For LaSalle, the men's Novice 8 saw action and was able to advance to the final. During Heat 2, the Novice 8 placed 2nd behind Hobart College, and LaSalle beat out Army by 2 seconds to claim that spot. In the grand final, the Blue and Gold finished 6th out of 7 boats, with the 7th boat being Drexel. The women's rowing team were present at the Necht Cup on the 11th and 12th as well. Rowing for the women was their varsity 4 squad, who finished 6th in Heat 1. LaSalle beat Fordham out by 13.08 seconds, while Army finished with a time of 7 minutes and 37.83 seconds.
The LaSalle golf team competed at the Liberty Invitational on Friday, April 10th and Saturday, April 11th. The team featured 2 teams, Oklahoma and North Carolina, ranked in the top 20 nationally, along with 2 more top 100 teams. This turned out to be tough competition for the Explorers, as they went on to finish last of the 18 teams that played at the tournament. There were a few bright spots, though. Tony Eifpoon was the top finisher for the Explorers, tied for 58th in the 94-player field. The grad student went on a streak of 33 holes in which he played an even par and also recorded 7 birdies in the tournament. PJ Yaciano finished 17th over par for the 54-hole event and birdied 7 holes as well. LaSalle will look to bounce back by hosting their own annual invitational at Stonewall North on Sunday, April 19th and Monday, April 20th. Well, Jake, softball season, high gear right now.
It's getting dicey. It's getting dicey.
Dicey is the right word. You know, they'll go on a string of some really solid games, and they'll have a couple here that, you know, maybe they didn't capitalize in certain spots, but then they'll be right back. They just bounce right back. They're like it's like pinball. I don't understand what's going on. But for you right now, we have our long list of recent softball games, starting with on Saturday, April 11th. Softball team hosted Rhode Island for the first 2 games of their 3-game series. The Rams got ahead early in Game 1, as 2 hits in the LaSalle error gave the visitors an early 1-0 lead. and it didn't take long for the Explorers to strike back as Michelle Haggerty smacked a home run to right center field to even the game up at 1, followed by a single from Lynette Seidler, who eventually found home to give LaSalle the lead. Though the Rams tied the game up at 2 in the second, the game belonged to the Explorers for the rest of the way. Seidler started the rally with a bases-loaded single to break the tie, followed by 2 runs being walked in by Christina Bascara and Suzanne Swinicki. In the bottom of the 4th, Bascara put the final nail in the coffin, launching a grand slam to give the Explorers a huge cushion. The game only lasted 5 innings, with the Explorers winning 10-2.
And while Game 1 saw the Explorer offense shine, the starting pitcher took center stage in Game 2. Freshman Mackenzie Peace tossed a complete game shutout, allowing only 4 hits while recording 4 strikeouts. As for the offense, a Christina Bascara single scored Kristen Travers to put the Blue and Gold on top 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Then in the bottom of the 4th, junior Allie Waddington scored an RBI base hit from Mackenzie Obert to make the lead 2-0. This ended up being the final score, as the Explorers snagged both halves of the doubleheader.
The next day, the women took to the diamond in hopes of completing their sweep of the Rams. However, Rhode Island would not let the Explorers obtain this so easily. After the Blue and Gold grabbed a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 1st, the Rams answered back in the top of the 2nd with a 4-run outburst. Luckily for LaSalle, this was the only offense the Rams would muster. Alicia Alton tied the game in the bottom of the 3rd with her RBI single, while Val Pinero scored a run on a fielder's choice. Christina Bascara singled home the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 4th, and the rest of this day is history. LaSalle tacked on 3 insurance runs and secured a sweep of Rhode Island by a score of 8-4.
And a day of rest separated this win from formidable opponent Villanova. Just like in Game 2 against Rhode Island, both teams fizzled on offense to open up a pitching duel. Mackenzie Peace took the start and went 5 innings without allowing a Wildcat to reach home. The freshman also kept Villanova to just 3 hits and 1 walk while pitching. Mary Kate Scott took the reins from there, only allowing 6 hits in her 5 innings herself. Scott was hung out to dry, however, when the Wildcats scored twice after LaSalle failed to score in the 11 innings. The Blue and Gold fell 2-0.
Next up, the softball team stayed home to play in a doubleheader against UMBC. Game 1 proved to be unsettling as the Explorers failed yet again to get much going at the plate. Suzanne Swinicki provided the only score with a solo home run in the 1st before the Retrievers would capitalize in the 4th and 7th with 3-run homers in both. Coming off the 6-1 loss, LaSalle bounced right back for part 2. Peace and Scott provided stability on the mound together, with Peace allowing only 2 hits and adding 1 strikeout. Scott would get the save in the 3 scoreless innings and hitless innings of her own. On offense, sophomore Mackenzie Obert started off the scoring with a 2-run homer to bring her and Erica Reese in. Christina Bascara would single in the same inning to bring Lynette Seidler home to help the Explorers go up 3-zip. In the 5th, Reese would hit a 2-run homer herself, with Val Pinero scoring after her own single. The freshman would add 1 more run after singling to left field and helping Seidler touch home. LaSalle evened up the doubleheader with a 6-0 victory.
And now, on to LaSalle baseball. They took flight this past weekend to face St. Louis University on April 10th. The Explorers started off the series strong with a Game 1 win. And throughout the game, both teams traded runs until the 6th inning. And when the dust settled with a 6-6 tie, things remained slow until the 9th, when Ryan Welling singled and a Kyle McGowan double added 2 more to take a 9-6 lead. The Billikens answered right back to tie it, sending the game into extra inning, and Travis George hit a single to put the Blue and Gold back on top before St. Louis intentionally walked Ryan Welling, loading the bases. Rivera found home after a pass ball and was met at home by George after an Ethan Springsteen sac fly. The Billikens would score 1 more run, but it proved all they had as LaSalle rolled to the 12-10 win. Adam Cherry picked up the win. Welling went 3 for 5, and Justin Kornblatt went 2 and 4 with a triple and an RBI.
The team started a cold streak in Game 2 of the series. The Explorers scored 4 unanswered runs off 2 RBIs from junior Joey Ravert. Ryan Welling also hit an RBI single and crossed home plate after a throwing error. The Billikens finished stronger, however, driving in 5 runs in the 6th inning and 4 more in the 7th. Billy Warswick pitched his 2nd loss of the season for the Blue and Gold. The Explorers wrapped up the series in a troubling fashion, losing 11-1 at the Billikens Sports Center. The Explorers' only run came from the bat of freshman Chase Arnold, who stroked an RBI double in the 8th. Starter Jordan Meyer gave up 7 runs on his outing, including 5 earned. 4 closers took the mound for LaSalle to finish the game. St. Louis starter Clay Smith tossed 6 stone-cold innings of himself, striking out 5 Blue and Gold batters.
And looking into this next coming up, women's lacrosse, who we also had the pleasure of interviewing, Allie Ilgen-Fritz. Like, what the heck? She's just a monster out there.
She's dynamite. I think that's the best way to say it.
Yes.
I'm excited to get on to lacrosse, but real quick, let's back up. Allie Waddington, friend of both of ours, lovely girl, had another shout out on SportsLine. So Allie, congratulations again. But Jake, are you ready for some lacrosse? Excuse me.
I think I am.
Let's do it.
All right, so women's lacrosse took the long haul up to St. Bonaventure on Friday, April 10th. The third A10 matchup of the season, the Explorers were looking for a win after a tough loss against George Mason. The defeat appeared to have a lingering effect as the blue and gold took to the field with a vengeance. First of all, SportsLine on the sidelines alumna, Allie Ilgenfritz, scored within the first minute of play. Then alongside Caitlin Brostrand, they put 5 goals apiece. And following that, Alana Diffendale scored her first hat trick of the season, along with an assist, and Caitlin Fay scored 2 impressive goals, along with a whole other slew of Explorers contributing to, yes, a 20-7 victory. The defense headed by Gabby Antonelli shut down the Bonnies for a huge win in upstate New York.
Their luck wouldn't continue as Lacrosse headed to Pittsburgh to take on Duquesne. One of their strongest A10 rivals, the Dukes were up 4-0 within the first 8 minutes of play. However, LaSalle made a strong comeback led by Brostrand in the middle of the first to level it at 5-5. Right before the end of half, Duquesne put away 3 consecutive goals that sealed the deal. Despite 4 goals by Brostrand and a hat trick by Fay, LaSalle could not catch up, and the Dukes jockeyed the Explorers for a 10-8 win. Well, Jake, just another back and forth for Lacrosse, but they're staying strong, staying competitive, fighting the good fight against teams like Duquesne, trying to keep it close. Moving on though to our weekly awards, freshman runner Morgan Zeckley wins another Rookie of the Week for the A10 after her 1,500-meter performance. The rising star placed third with her time of 4 minutes and 23.63 seconds. For the men's team, Chris Sanders represents LaSalle again with co-performer honors. The sophomore ran the second best time in the 800-meter in the A10. And on the softball diamond, Christina Bascara earned A10 Player of the Week after a very strong performance at bat. The third baseman went 5 for 7, snagging 9 RBIs and 2 home runs.
Ooh. This takes us to our first commercial break, but stick around. We have my intriguing chat with LaSalle baseball pitcher Adam Cherry. We'll be right back.
Have you ever
had someone repeatedly put their hands on you even though you were saying no?
been threatened into an unwanted sexual activity? Each year, there are almost 300,000 victims of sexual assault,
Unwanted touching,
attempted rape, and committed rape
and even receiving sexually threatening messages.
are all forms of sexual assault. Anyone can be a victim
No matter the age, gender, or ethnicity, take a stand.
against sexual assault.
Cyberbullying can happen 24/7. If you or someone you know is a victim of cyberbullying, take preventative and assertive action. Keep evidence and document all instances. Remember to record dates, times, descriptions, and also save and print screenshots. Block your cyberbully and present your evidence to school officials or law enforcement. No one deserves to be a victim of cyberbullying, and together we can end it. For more information, visit stopbullying.com.
Welcome back. Adam Cherry of the LaSalle baseball team stopped by to give us a look at his and the team's season so far. Take a look. All right, welcome to On the Sidelines. I'm your host for today, Jacob Smolinski, and I'm sitting down here with senior pitcher Adam Cherry from the baseball team. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so to start this off, I just wanted to ask, you've been having a really solid season, closing out all these games. What has been the #1 challenge so far this season for you guys?
For us, I think it's playing with a consistency every day. We've had various ups and downs, but I think that's our biggest challenge, is just playing consistent every day.
So then what is it like, so as a closer then on a team where there's just not so much consistency, what is it like being a closer on a team like that?
I mean, I think you got to be strong mentally, because you know your team can go out there and run up the score 15, 16 runs a game. So, I mean, there's not many opportunities for saves, but you just got to keep practicing, staying sharp, and keep practicing.
Yeah. And so, okay, so I think one of your strongest games came against the first in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, that was last weekend.
Yeah, so last weekend you guys had a triple header against St. Louis, or just a nice weekend tournament of games. Mm-hmm. So tell us, how was that first game?
Well, the first game, another roller coaster ride. We went ahead late in the game. Then I was brought in, and a couple runners got on, and then we made 2 errors, and they ended up tying the game. But our offense came back, and so in the 10th inning, we scored 3 runs, and then I was able to put them away to get the win.
That is a roller coaster ride.
It is.
I think that honestly just kind of sums up your guys' entire season like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and so right now you guys are getting ready to just playing some serious A10 matchups. You guys have St. Bonaventure coming up and everything. What has been the preparation for the A10s this season?
Well, the A10 is of course most important for our season. Hopefully we can work our way into a regional. But St. Bonnie's, they have a pretty good team. We really need a sweep this weekend. And if we play like I know we can play, then getting a sweep shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's just the biggest challenge, honestly, with just baseball in general. Just especially when you guys don't have necessarily like the indoor practice facilities for like all year round.
Right.
And especially when I know when you guys going down to some of these places down in Florida, taking on some of these teams where they've been just playing the entire year.
Right.
How do you think like that your guys' practice schedule leading up into the season affected your guys' season?
Well, we go into Florida when we played Stetson. We kind of went in there with an edge, knowing that they expected to beat us and beat us all 3 games. We knew that they were going to come out gunning. We also came out gunning, and we were able to take 2 or 3 from Stetson. And I mean, they have a beautiful stadium. They probably got even 1,000 people, a couple hundred people there at their games. So I mean, the crowd is pretty rough, but we were able to play well and took 2 or 3 from them.
Yeah, and so you've had so far this season 4 saves and 1 win.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty solid. Yeah. And so then, as a senior, what has been, I guess, your biggest challenge for this season?
My biggest challenge, always is just coming into the season ready to pitch. In previous seasons, I've had injuries, but this year I've been pretty fresh, and I've been really prepared to play.
Yeah. All right, and so kind of just recounting your LaSalle experience. You're from Connecticut, and so how did you end up at LaSalle?
Well, beginning of my junior year, I was recruited by Coach Lake, and it was kind of funny. My cousin, Kevin Christie, used to play here, and so it was kind of just out of the blue, like, hey, Coach, I can play baseball a little bit. And he kept responding, and he actually came up to Connecticut, and he saw me play, and then he offered me a scholarship on the spot, and I decided to come down.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so now looking back at like your time pitching for LaSalle, what is the one standout game in your career where you're just like, oh, that was perfection?
I mean, I don't think there's one game I can actually point out. I just really enjoy getting saves, and getting that last out in the 9th inning, knowing that we got the win under our belt. I think that's what I really enjoyed the most. Yeah,
and so what are your plans then for after graduation and everything? I know you have some stuff in the works.
Hopefully, I'm in the 1-year program, getting my master's down here at the Comm Center, and hopefully I'll continue on with that. And if things work out, maybe I'll play professional baseball, if that's a possibility.
Exactly.
So.
And so then I guess the last question then is, what needs to happen for men's baseball if we are going to go into the A10 playoffs this year?
We just got to play with a consistency. That's what we've really lacked lately. And if we can play consistent like we did at the beginning of the year, then we shouldn't have a problem getting into the tournament.
I know you guys have potentially one of the best teams around. So, all right, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you
very much. Appreciate it. Anyway, that is On the Sidelines, and back to you guys.
2, 1.
Thank you, Jake. He's the best. Yeah. So quite the treat to have Adam on set. And this brings us to another commercial break, but stay with us.
Anthony Fleet will be here with us for some exploring headlines for you when we get back. So please stay tuned.
I didn't think this could happen to me.
I just wanted to feel pretty.
I just put my drink down for a second.
I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't want to fight back.
I'm a writing center tutor, and I know more.
I'm an athlete, and I know more.
I'm a professor, and I know more.
I'm in Greek life, and I know more.
I'm an RA, and I know more.
If you see someone who may be at risk of sexual assault, step up and keep them safe. For more information about sexual assault and what you can do to prevent it, visit nomore.org. Show your support by speaking out against sexual assault by using the No More hashtag on social media.
I can take her home. I got her. Yeah. No, it's really fun. I can take her home. It's no big deal.
Don't be that friend and help put an end to sexual assault.
Welcome back, and here with us right now is frequent Sports Talk Philadelphia guest, Anthony Fleet.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's get to it. We have an update for you. Women's soccer star Kelsey Haycock has been named a finalist for the John Wanamaker Athletic Award. The current senior holds LaSalle's records for goals and points and was the 2014 Offensive MVP for the Atlantic 10 Conference. The award is given each year to an athletic individual or organization in Philadelphia that succeeded both on the field and in representing the city. In a positive light, help Kelsey win the award by voting online. The link can be found on the Go Explorers website. For the men's soccer team, 3 Explorers were honored elsewhere. Junior Joe Farrell and freshman Johnny Curlante and Mike Liska attended the annual Philadelphia Soccer 6 banquet to be recognized for their outstanding personal performances in the 2014 season. Farrell led the team in goals and points in all 19 games this season, good enough to be named to the Soccer 6 All-Star team. Curlante and Liska shared all rookie team honors. One recent LaSalle graduate may be in a bit of a Cinderella story. Former men's soccer goalkeeper John McCarthy, recently signed as the Philadelphia Union's third-string goalie this past preseason, was given the go-ahead to man the net in the team's game on April 11th against New York City FC. True to form, he did not disappoint. The class of 2014 grad tallied 3 saves in the match, one of which preserved the 2-1 lead in the 89th minute. The SportsLine team will keep you up to date on McCarthy's future performances in the net.
How about that John McCarthy, huh?
I'm psyched.
Nice to hear that another alum is finding work in the professional field, especially since we just reported him getting picked up by a minor league team not even too long ago, Jake.
Yeah, no. Yeah. What was that like? What's the turnaround on that? Like less than like a week almost? That was
basically. I mean, he got signed in the preseason for the Union, and then he was a third stringer as we just reported, and they just bumped him up after their second string was hurt and their first string was benched. So, and he did pretty well,
yeah,
I think, you know.
He got a victory.
He got the win.
Yeah, he got the win, you know. Yeah. Also, Kelsey Haycock, Jake's
my
favorite.
Biggest fan.
Needs our help for voting.
I've already voted like 8 times. I cleared out, refreshed my browser. Yeah.
So you can vote as many times as you want?
If you do it the right way.
Oh, okay. Well,
some secrets are best.
We'll have to get voting.
Probably shouldn't have said that on TV.
And just keeping with the soccer, three of our guys got honored at a banquet: Farrell, Liska, and Curlante.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Killing it on the soccer pitch right now, you know?
Shout out to them.
Yeah. So anyway, now that we've covered the past, let's look to the future. Tim Durante brings us this week's marquee matchup. Check it out.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Tim Durante. For this week's segment, we highlight the women's softball team as they play against Drexel University this Thursday, April 16th at West Campus Field. The Explorers are currently undefeated when playing at home, standing at a strong 7 wins and 0 losses. They have an overall record of 9 wins and 8 losses. The Explorers have found their stride as of late as they are coming off a 5-game winning streak. The Explorers have been hot in the month of April, starting out 5-game winning streak, sweeping the game series from both St. Bonaventure and Rhode Island. For the Explorers to come out on top in this game, they will need key contributions from sophomore Michelle Haggerty and sophomore Suzanne Swadnicki. Sophomore Michelle Haggerty is a shortstop for the Lady Explorers. Shortstop is a vital position when it comes to playing defense. With much ground to cover, the fielding of that certain position could make or break a team. With that being said, a game defensively is needed from Michelle to help lead the team on the defensive end, leading their way to their at-bat. Michelle Haggerty has started in all 17 games this season, and she has been a force on the field defensively as well as offensively. The shortstop is top 5 on the leaderboard for just about every single hitting statistic, whether it's batting average, runs scored, or hits. The picture is drawn, ladies and gentlemen. She's a piece of production for the Explorers, and she must continue her high level of play if the Explorers hope to beat Drexel. Another important position on the field is the catcher. The Explorers will also need a great game from Suzanne Swaznicki. Suzanne is a sophomore catcher that has also started 17 games this year. As she has filled the position in well, she has been highly productive when it comes to fielding, letting up only 1 pass ball. Suzanne is also the team leader for putouts with 64. The Explorers will need her play of defense to remain top-notch. Now, our keys to the game. The Explorers must be able to have effective communication on the field. Softball is a game of situation. Given each situation, the players should be communicating with each other so they know where they play the ball if it is hit in their direction. Another key point is to make sure the runner crosses the plate and scores. They must do everything they can in the batter's box in order to score. Any runners in scoring position, whether you score the runner with a hit, a walk, or a sacrifice, the Explorers must push runs across home plate. Don't forget to stop by West Campus Field this Thursday on April 16th to help cheer on LaSalle's softball team for this week's marquee matchup. I'm Tim Durrani. Go Explorers.
That just about wraps it up for this week. And if you can't make it out to see the marquee matchup, make sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Be sure to keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by following us on Twitter at SportsLine LTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming show.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on either website.
So, for Anthony, Tim, and our entire SportsLine team, I'm Jake Smolinski.
And I'm Brendan Rigney. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the game.